Hi everyone, welcome back to the Lewis Pick Run Football Show. Today's a new series on my channel, Brother v Brother predictions. We're going to do today the Championship. We're going to do each position and where we think they're going to finish. At the end of the season, if you get the exact position right, we're going to give 2 points. If you get a promoted team right, 1 point. If you get a relegated team right, we do 1 point. We're also going to do a Premier League one, where each one's going to finish, and each week when the Premier League fixtures come out, we're going to do our prediction score, and all the points at the end of the season are going to add up, and there's going to be a big forfeit at the end. So let's start with the bottom three. I'm going to say who I'm going to put in the bottom three and who I think will get relegated from the Championship this season. 24th, gone for Wycombe Wanderers, come up last season, miracle season to come up, and I think they'll go straight back down. 23rd, Coventry City, another promoted team. I think they'll go straight back down. And 22nd, Sheffield Wednesday, 12-point deduction, and I think they'll fall short of survival. What have you gone with, Callum?
Very similar, really. At the bottom, they've got Wycombe. I think they'll be the weakest side in the Championship next year. Wycombe Wanderers. I've got 23rd, Sheffield Wednesday. I think that minus 12 points. It'll just be too much for them to not go down. And then 22nd, I've also got Rotherham, another promoted side. I think they'll make the drop.
So we've gone very similar there. Obviously, I've gone Wycombe, Coventry and Sheff Wed, but in these thinks Coventry will survive, and he's gone Rotherham, but very similar there. Now moving on to 21st to 13th. Obviously, it's very hard to get teams in exact positions, and that's why you're going to get 2 points if you get teams. These are the teams that we think will finish bottom half, maybe just miss relegation, then comfortably in mid-table. I'll let Callum do his first, and then I'll do mine.
Yeah, so 21st I've got Barnsley. I think they'll just survive the drop this season. And then I'll go to 20th on Coventry. A promoted side, I think they're going to be the side to stay up this season. Obviously they won their league last year. 19th is QPR, big shot for QPR fans this one. Done pretty well last season, but obviously they've just sold Eze to Crystal Palace, which I think is a massive loss. What a playmaker last year he was. 18th, Luton, great home records. I think they'll be good this season. They had a good unbeaten run at the start of last season. 17th, 16th, I'll just quickly rattle off Birmingham, Huddersfield. I think he'll be comfortable this season. I think he'll be happy with that. Birmingham, Huddersfield fans. 15th, I've got Reading. 14th, I've got Bristol, and 13th, I've got Blackburn. I don't think Blackburn fans will be happy with that. But like I say, like our Luke was saying, they could jump up and down. That's why I've just rattled off them quickly. Yeah. But I think it's be safe as houses.
So he's got Coventry to survive. I've got them got relegated. The team that I think will survive out of the promoted teams is 21st is Rotherham. I think they've had Championship experience in and out of the Championship over the last few years, and I think they'll survive this season. 20th, Luton. I think they'd snap your hands off for that position next season. Another season in the Championship. 19th, Barnsley. What an escape last season. Brentford away. They had to go and win at Brentford away when Brentford needed to win for promotion. Got a goal later on. Ended up staying in the Championship. 18th, I've gone Reading. The last 3 seasons I've said Reading will go down. I'm going to back for them this year and say that they'll survive in 18th. 17th, QPR. No relegation, but nowhere near the playoffs. 16th, Birmingham. Karanka's just come in. Steady away. I think it'll take him a couple of seasons if they want to be anywhere near the playoffs. 15th, Huddersfield. Steady. 14th, Middlesbrough. That's who we support. I haven't said that on my channel yet. 14th, Middlesbrough. Warnock, absolute best signing that you could have. But I think if we keep the same squad, I think we won't be near the relegation battle like we were last season. But without any signings, I can't see us pushing towards the top 6. 13th, Millwall. Finished high last season. I think 13th's a reasonable season. And that's my prediction for this, the bottom half of the Championship this season. So now we move on to the top half of the Championship. Obviously, it's very hard to get them in exact positions, but I think anyone who finishes in the top half of the Championship can have a shot at definitely making the playoffs. I'm going to tell you my 12th to 7th, so the teams will just miss out on the playoffs in my opinion. 12th, Blackburn Rovers, always been a mid-table team. I think they could go either way. They could push towards the playoffs or push towards relegation. For me, mid-table team. 11th, Bristol City, bottled the playoffs last season. Lee Johnson gone. I can't see them making the playoffs. 10th, Preston, always overachieved for my eyes, but they were in the playoffs for a long time last season, didn't make it. 9th, Derby County. I think Derby will fancy themselves for the playoffs this year, but I don't. 8th, Swansea, got into the playoffs on the last day of last season, unbelievably. Couldn't take advantage and are back in the Championship. It's 8th place finish for me. And 7th, Forest. exactly where they finished last season, but if you'd have told them on the last day of the season they'd finished 7th, I think they'd have cried their eyes out. So that's my 12th to 7th. Who do you think will miss out on the playoffs?
So I've got the mighty Borough in 12th. Probably optimistic if you ask a local Borough fan around the area, but I think Warnock will do one thing and one thing only, whip the lads into shape. We've got Grant Allen free, which is a bit of a span player in that bare bones side for me. But if you ask me, I'll take 12 as a Borough fan at the moment in time. I've got Stoke 11th. I honestly think Stoke will have a good season this season. Finished off the season really good last year. I think they've got a really good squad. I think they could really push on. 10th, I've got Millwall. I think they'll be there or thereabouts, knocking on the door. 9th, I've got Swansea. Rely a lot on loan players, Swansea. Obviously, Brewster helped them out last year, and they'll be staying at Liverpool this time around. So
definitely.
That's a big loss for goals in that sense. 8th, I've got Norwich. Probably one of my biggest shocks, this one. I think there's always a big team that has a fall from grace from the Premier League, and it does hit home, coming back down into the Championship. And sorry, Norwich fans, it's going to be you this time.
Big call.
7th, I've got Preston. Like Lou, I was saying, they're always there or thereabouts in another place, knocking on the door. They're just going to miss out this year as well.
That's a big call. Norwich City 8 play. It's a big call. We'll get on it. Obviously, the top 6 for us, you'll see where I've put them. But round about the same actually. A few teams different, but Norwich is the
Just
big difference.
We'll wait and see in the season.
Yeah, we'll wait and see at the end of the season. Right, and now we're going to do the playoffs. 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. This is who I think will get in the playoffs this season. I'll let Callum do his top 2 first. So 6th place I've gone for Stoke. Big underachievers the last few years in the Championship, spent a lot of money, but since Michael O'Neill come in last year, I think after lockdown they were one of the form sides in the Championship. Solid manager, solid foundations. I'm backing them for a playoff place this season. 5th, Bournemouth. Obviously, the thing we've got to deal with is the transfer market. Obviously, the transfer market's normally over when you make predictions. A team could lose the 3 best players in the Championship. We don't know what's going to happen. I think 6 weeks into the season, that's when it closes. So we're making our predictions off this. But 5th place, I've gone Bournemouth. Yeah, obviously they've lost Ake, big loss. But Callum Wilson's the one. I think they'll score goals in the Championship. But if they lose him, they might not make the playoffs. 4th place, Cardiff City, always there or thereabouts. I think they'll be in the playoffs this season. And 3rd place, I've gone Brentford, just missing out on the top 2. They moved to the new stadium, and I hope last season doesn't have a lasting effect on them. Where have we gone for the playoffs, Carl?
6th, I've got Forest fans. I think he's going to get in the playoffs this time around. Bottled it last year, big time. But I think he's got a good, strong team there, and I think he'll push on with their manager. 5th, I've got Derby. I think they're just sad on the up and the up and the up. They always are. Such a big sides in the Championship, Derby, and they're always in the playoffs. I think this time they'll be back in there as well. 4th, got Brentford, like Lou saying, with the new stadium, but I just think the trauma still will hit home for Brentford. I just think, hate to say, they will bottle it again. 3rd, I've got Bournemouth. Started coming down, like our Lou said, they lost a few players. I mean, that could drop down, or they could sign someone that could go even up. They could easily be in that top 2. Very good ex-Premier League side, been in the Premier League for years. Good experience in that squad. It's one of them, isn't it, if they get that top 2 or not, but not on my prediction.
Yeah, Derby and Forest bottled it last season. I mean, if they get in the playoffs this season, I think it's a great bottle. Carl, do you want to do your top 2 first?
Yeah, I've got a massive shout here. Wouldn't say a huge shout, but I'm going to put Cardiff to go automatic promotion. I just think it's a very, very good Championship side they have got, and I think they could do the job.
Always strong.
Warnock done it a couple of years ago, didn't he? So I'm back on Warnock in that sense, but the team's still there. Slightly ageing, but I think they can get the job done, which is a big shout from me. And then top, I think it's Watford. I can't see anyone, especially the squad. I was so shocked that they went down. Obviously, Nigel Pearson coming at the end of the season, had a few in the Premier League, had a few bad results, and obviously did ultimately end up then going down. But with that squad, I can't see them not winning it, to be honest.
Fair enough. Cardiff, I've got them 4th, but they're just a very, very strong Championship side, and if they get second, I think it's a good shout. Second, I've gone for Watford. Squad's way too good. If they keep most of the squad together, they've just got to bounce straight back into the Premiership. The only thing with Watford is obviously the owners. They like changing managers so much, and if they get a settled manager in, I'm not sure they've got a manager in yet. Chris Shooton's been touted, but I think with that squad, whoever goes in, they should be pushing for a promotion. And first, I've gone Norwich. Callum put them 8th,
yep,
so we've got a big difference of opinion. For me, Norwich, every time they're in the Championship, score goals for fun. A very, very seasoned Championship team. I think if they keep the manager who got Daniel Farke got them promoted the last time. I think they'll win the league.
Well, I think they'll fall from grace. So we'll find out.
Well, there you go. That's a really big. That's the only really big difference in opinion.
Yeah, I would say so as well. I mean, Cardiff getting automatic.
Yeah, but I've got them fourth.
But I mean, we've got
2 of the same relegated. We've got 2 of the same playoffs. So, yeah, like I said, 2 points if we get them exactly right. A point if, say, Cardiff get promoted but they come top, Callum gets a point because they got promoted anyway. And then a point for relegation. If you say Wickham are going to finish bottom and they finish second bottom, you still get a point because you predicted them to be relegated. Yeah.
There'll be a lot of chopping and change for the championship.
Oh yeah, you know what the championship's like. One team beats one and one team beats the and then gets beat the next week. It's the same, isn't it? But yeah, so that's our predictions. I'll keep it, and then throughout the season I'm going to keep a tally. So each video you'll know like what the score is so far now, predictions, and it's definitely going to come down to these tables in the championship and in the Premiership. So next up we're going to talk about top scorers. So yeah, on to top goal scorers. In the result of a tie break, out of all our points, which is very unlikely, we're going to pick a top scorer each from the championship, and whoever finishes with the most goals, that's going to break the tie break. I'm going to go for TeamLewis from Norwich. Obviously they were in the Premiership last season, but the season before he was in the Championship, sure he could score absolute goals for fun, and for me, if he stays fit, he could fire Norwich to the Championship title.
Yeah, he's done it again. He's done it before, hasn't he, Pookie? I'm going to go with Josh King of Bournemouth. For Bournemouth, could be either them the top 2, but I think he's going to be their top goal scorer and the top goal scorer in the Championship itself.
Let's hope for Bournemouth fans that they can keep their side.
He stays. I know. Yeah, that could end.
Yeah, obviously, Josh King's way too good for the Championship, but obviously, hopefully for Bournemouth fans, he stays.
Yeah.
That's the end of our first video, brother v brother. You're going to get used to seeing our faces. It's going to be a long series throughout the season. Next week, just before the start of the Premiership, we're going to do our table for the Premiership next season, and then obviously once the fixtures start, we're going to be doing weekly predictions. Yeah, have you got anything to say?
No, just what's the forfeit going to be?
Big forfeit. Get in the comments below. Big forfeit.
Do it. Let's go.
Big forfeit. We'll do anything. Big forfeit. We've got a few in mind, but if the comments ones are better, that's going to be it.
They'll think of something.
Yeah. Big ones. It's over a long season. If you get beat over a long season, you deserve the forfeit, isn't it?
Big time.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Right. This has been the Lewis Pick Room Football Show. I'll catch you on the next time. See you later. Bye.